Okay. Angerad's life. First done. Let's give it a minute, see who pops up. Who's not busy on a Sunday evening? Angerad, can you give me a smiley face if you can hear me okay? If you're still there. Dee. There we go, we've got a few more popping up now. Can somebody give me a thumbs up or something that you can hear me okay and you can see me and all systems are go, etc, etc. Oh, yes, we are. Thanks, Angerad's life. Sorted. So, welcome to this stream. I'm a Grumpy Vegan Grandad, otherwise known as Dan the Man Levitan. Today, we are going to have a nice, calm discussion with a Carni actor friend of mine. Hi, Gary. You all right, buddy? And we're gonna talk about why is it not vegan. Hello, Michael Askew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the story of why we've come to this point. And thank you, Paul Hansen. It's very delayed. It's sort of like I sit there waiting and then all of a sudden things pop up and viewers, audio and visual are good. Right, well, let's see all that gold west when I bring on Steve. So you all knew who I am, so I'll bring over Steve now.
Oh.
You're there. You're there. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, everyone.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the people out there?
I'm an evil scumbag who devours living creatures for fun.
No,
not really. My name's Steve Holloran, Steve J. Holloran. I'm an actor, thespian, or trying to be, and I'm just a happy-go-lucky chappy.
Yes, a happy-go-lappy. Do you go to lap dancing clubs? Like happy-go-lappy. It's a new saying. I've just invented a new saying. I've just coined that.
I hope the missus wasn't watching.
I don't care. I'm going happy but lappy. Right. Okay, so let's tell the story. So, Stephen, you're an actor. I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And we knew of each other because we both share similar sort of acting circles and friends. You end up in a sort of... It's a bit like the vegan family, actually, Steve, is that you tend to meet up with the same people and come across each other. And yeah, you sort of become aware of each other. So I'd seen you in stuff that with people that I'd previously worked with, and you'd seen me in stuff that you had previously worked with.
Yeah.
And then finally, we got to work together.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the trailer that we have just completed. We filmed this. How long ago did we film this, Steve?
4 or 5 months ago, something like that.
Was it that long? Wow, yeah.
It was August, wasn't it?
It was when we came out of lockdown for the first lockdown, weren't it?
4 months.
Yeah, and it was raining a lot as well. I seem to remember, hell of a lot. In fact, to the point where we filmed one scene under a bridge.
The opening scene. Yeah.
But let's play the trailer, and you guys can see the relationship me and Steve had in the.
Oh God, I'm going to watch it on this.
Is that playing?
It's on, but it's not playing.
Oh, hang on a minute. Do you know why? There we go. Can you hear that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what. I'm Joe, by the way.
Oh, talented woman.
Read in this shit all.
I was only trying to help.
Yeah, well, you're pissing me off. Is what it is.
Tomo, tell him it's the wrong address.
Yeah, come on, cat. Run her ass. Opposite me.
Since when have I been your fairy fucking godmothers?
Fuck it. Come on, Jasper. It's like cats on a promise tonight.
Oh, yeah. Who is it then, Cat? Someone we know.
Woo, Billy!
Susie.
She's not asked about you. She can't even look after her own daughter. So what makes you so special?
Oh, she's good, isn't she?
No one knows what that's like in my head. I do.
Where did you manage to stash it?
It's safe, mate. Put it in one of the bins.
Fucking bin.
Yeah. It's safe, mate. No one's checking there.
Safe. Are you a complete dickhead?
Fuck, mate. There's no need for that.
It's fucking bin day, knobhead.
That ain't nobody, this shit for me.
Unbelievable.
What type of a place is this?
Oh, we're going again.
No, we're not going again. So
How unbelievable is that, everyone? Because he slapped me in the face, and that really was a slap.
and it wasn't just once, was it? Because I kept messing it up on purpose so I could slap
On
you
purpose.
again.
That's the official line, yeah. You're like, oh no, not again.
I've got to slap him again. Damn it!
And I'm the carnivore.
So basically, that's where we started having a little sort of chats in between takes about my veganism. So, what piqued your curiosity when we were? Did you hear me talking about asking for vegan food, or what was it that piqued your curiosity?
Oh no, don't worry about that. It's what it is. My mum, right, is a lifelong vegan. She always has been, even before she knew she was a vegan.
Really, I didn't know that.
Oh, it's lifelong. She's never actually forced that on us. She was always very, very like, if you like meat, that's fine. And she was very, very good about it.
I'm laughing because it's to force veganism on somebody is like a bit of an oxymoron, because you force carnism on children. Children don't naturally eat meat as such, so that's why I'm laughing at that statement that she didn't force she didn't force your non-violence onto you, her non-violence onto you. She didn't force her compassion onto you. It's like, you see how when you say things like that.
Yeah, we're getting into it.
Well, I get what you're saying. So she didn't push the. I mean, why did she not? Did she not feed you vegan meals or anything like that?
Look at the time we were living in at the time. You said yourself that that society was built on this. Do you know what I mean? So it was a normal thing to do, wasn't it? It was her choice to be a vegan.
Right.
So she didn't want to enforce that on us, and it's by the same token, I do get what you mean, but it's did she say why she was vegan? Oh, many times.
Deborah's here. Hello, Deborah.
Oh, she's there.
Deborah's the writer, star, producer, and part-time director of Safe from Harm. So, hello, Deborah. Nice to have you here.
Hello.
So, did she tell you why she was vegan? And what did she say?
Yeah, she did. Obviously, the whole thing with her is that she can't abide animal cruelty. She gets upset by the very mention of it. People said she overthinks things, which she doesn't. I don't believe anyone can overthink things when it comes to anything like that.
So she was totally vegan, no eggs, no dairy. Sorry to be like this.
Well, no, this is the thing. She was a vegetarian.
Okay.
Because that was the easiest thing to do. Even though she was, even though deep inside she was always a vegan. Yeah. I think the easiest option for her was vegetarian at the time.
Right. Okay. So, how old are you now, Steve?
I'm not telling you that. You don't ask a lady a question like that. I mean, a man.
How old are you?
35.
So we're talking 30 years ago. So I will agree, it wasn't, and it wouldn't have been the easiest of lifestyles to take up
this was
during
the
that
80s
time.
as well.
Yeah.
This was the 80s.
So I agree.
There was no diet plans. No. I mean, how old are you again?
Don't ask me. Don't ask a lady his age. What are you talking about? Go away, fool.
Well, I showed you mine.
so,
You nearly slapped your eye out.
so I'm 53, but I've only been vegan 4.5 years.
Right. Okay.
I've
well,
only been vegan 4.5 years, but we'll get into that
We'll
anyway.
get into that later when I'm.
We'll get into that later because nobody here is saying that we weren't exactly like you. Everybody, most people in my comments now and people watching this have eaten animal products for the majority of their life. There's not many lifelong vegans on my channel at the moment in my viewership. I don't think there's not many. There might be lifelong vegetarians, but again, vegetarianism is a diet.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to get into, because vegetarianism is a diet, whereas veganism is a philosophy. It's nothing to do with thingy. So, question number one, my friend, is why are you not vegan?
Well, I never see. This is the thing. This is getting into a can of worms now with me, because my diet is always a problem, regardless of whether it's meat or not. I can't keep hold of a diet. I'm very haphazard with the way I eat. I don't eat enough. I either eat too little or not at all, and that's my problem. I've always tried to look for a proper diet, and that's why veganism's come up more and more in the last 2 years, because my mental health as well. That my mental health was down.
What? Right. Okay. What did your mental health have to do with you looking at veganism? What? I don't understand the.
You know when you go to the gym, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, fitness is key to good mental health as well.
Yes.
So for me, diet and gym go hand in hand. You've got to for your energy, for your lifting and what have you. So
you're talking about bodybuilding. So.
Well, maybe, but again, fitness in itself releases all sorts of happy endorphins or whatever you like to call it. So I wanted that feeling. I wanted to look after myself and do right for myself, because I knew I was going the other way.
Right. So your assumption is that veganism is a diet.
That was my assumption, because remember, I'm not a meat eater group or a vegan group or any sort of diet. I'm just a normal average Joe.
Right.
So anything like that is simply food.
Right. Okay. So you right. You do eat a certain diet. You eat an animal based diet.
Yeah.
Do you eat right? So you eat eggs. Let's go through them. You eat eggs.
Yes, I like a good egg.
Dairy, milk.
Yeah,
cheese.
well, yeah, I'm a sucker for milk, but only in tea. I don't drink a lot of it outside of.
What about on your cereal?
You know what? I went mad once for porridge. I think it was like a year and a half ago. For keep costs down, so I was having porridge for everything, and that I tried to switch from milk to like Alpro or something like coconut milk or something different, but it just didn't have the same punch.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I will talk about that as well. What about your meats? Pork, pig flesh?
Again, beef, pig, no. And I'll tell you why. Do you remember a TV show in the mid-2000s with Gordon Ramsay in it? And basically he followed a pig from being born to basically the restaurant. Do you remember that at all?
Yes.
And literally followed the process.
Yes.
Well, basically, that was a traumatic program for me. What was it on BBC, I think? And
which
literally,
bit?
Oh, when it got to the slaughter bit, because what they do is they tie them up, don't they, and electrocute them, and it was just the noise that got me, and it sat in my head for a bit. I think that's what I got from my mum. It just sat in my head for like a year. I wouldn't touch pork or beef for some reason. Every time I looked at him, I didn't like him. I don't know why.
So you won't eat cows or pigs?
Well, not that I won't, but it's hard to, because that memory's always there. That it's like the other day, last week for Christmas, whenever a turkey's in the kitchen, I can't go in there because it looks dead. Do you get me?
Well, it is. It's a dead body.
Well, that's what I mean. But if
It's
if
an
it doesn't
individual.
look like it, if it doesn't look like it, I can't. I can eat it. That's the thing. It's got to look separate from
Right.
the body.
So for a start, now straight away, you're telling me that you've got you feel compassion for those animals. You saw those pigs being butchered and slaughtered. I call it murdered.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't know if you noticed this, but with society in general, I've been taught from birth to always eat a balanced diet, and that is always included meat in schools, in texts, in how you bring your kids up. Balanced diet. It's still the same now, even with vegans, but you've got to supplement what you take from meat. But from what you were saying on the shoot, you didn't need that in the first place. You know, the meat products, you could always take it from somewhere else. Is that right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's nothing. See, the thing is, there's nothing you get from animals that's of any use to humans that you can't get in plants. If we can't get it, we make it. Our bodies make it anyway.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the people who are very, very anti-vegan, they think of all these things that we can't make as we can't get from animal products. But the ones that we can't get, we synthesize in our bodies. We get one. There's one with vitamin D and one with some of the omegas when we convert it. But it's the thing is with all of it is that you've been fed lies to start with. This is what I want to get at is from the very moment we're born, we're told that we should eat a balanced diet.
Yeah.
And we're told that we need dairy for
milk and teeth and bones.
Calcium. Yeah. We're
calcium.
told that we need meats for protein. You know, we're told we need eggs for protein but everything that we're being told to eat, even fish, exactly the same. They're full of cholesterol, they're full of saturated fat, and on the health side of things, they aren't any good for us. In fact, it's the very adverse effects on human bodies. It's the biggest cause of all the top diseases like cancer, heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's.
But isn't that a moderation issue? Because when you eat too much of anything, it causes issues. So my issue is if you're going to eat too much red meat, you're going to eat too much saturated fats. It builds. So
what do you call too much, Steve? What in your eyes is too much then?
Well, any amount makes you overweight. That's basically it. It could be anything, couldn't it?
Right, but would you say eating meat 3 times a day is too much?
Eating meat 3 times a day? I don't know how you could. I mean, my diet doesn't do that.
Yeah,
my diet doesn't do that. So
come on, people get up and they have the bacon and egg butty in the morning. They have the ham sandwiches or cheese sandwiches at dinner time, and then they come home and they'll have a lamb chop or a pork rib or something when they get home at tea, and they do that every day, 7 days a week. So, would you say that's moderation?
Well, it depends on the portion size, and it depends on what your BMI and all this stuff that the scientists say.
So
you live within.
So that's according to Western society, that's a normal diet. Eating meat 3 times a day, we'd say that's a normal diet. I'm not trying to catch you out, Steve. I'm just saying it's a normality. We get up, we either have eggs or we have a bit of bacon. No.
A lot of the health conscious guys, like bodybuilding guys, they eat a lot of meat. Like you said, protein and whatever. Something I couldn't do because I can't eat that much, and that's why the gym always fails for me. But at the same time, they're not unhealthy people. They're just getting their source, what you'd say, from that instead.
They are unhealthy people. They are unhealthy people because you can't see what's going on inside. I mean, for a start, bodybuilders are under the illusion. This is what I mean. It's all one big illusion that's been marketed to us under the same playbook as the tobacco industry. Yeah. Right. So the tobacco industry, what they did, they sponsored sports events, and they got doctors and health professionals to champion cigarettes. You'd see doctors advertising cigarettes on TV. You'd see sports games with like the baseball player, was it Babe Ruth or someone? And he'd show him smoking camels and like, smoke camels, it made me a great
I
athlete.
remember my dad used to watch F1 and he had all the branding on the racetrack.
On the racetrack.
Like
exactly.
or whatever.
Yeah, JPS and all that. I do remember that.
That was
so the meat industry, egg and dairy, use the same tactics. So you'll see like all the fast food stuff at football games, like sponsored by McDonald's, sponsored by this, British pork, the dairy industry, eat British lamb, great British lamb. You'll see they've used exactly the same, and it's all marketed to us. And the hardest thing to tell people is that apart from your mum, Steve, who's like the exception.
By the way, can I pick up on that? By the way, sorry to interrupt, but my mum has obviously changed tack since then. The other day, I showed her the screenshot of this show, and I put it on and said, "What do you think?" And it said, "What did it say? Vegan v Carni." And fight. That's how it sounded. And and then I said, "What do you think?" And she went, "I thought you'd be more open-minded. I can't believe you've taken that guy on. Vegan, grumpy vegan." I was like, "What?" It upset me. Honestly, it upset me because I thought I'm ethical. I'm a good guy.
You're not ethical, though. You're not ethical.
I'm a good human being, right? You said we've been manipulated. You said you used the word manipulated.
Right. Okay. Let's go back.
How are we bad?
I'm not saying you are bad people. I'm just saying that you've been indoctrinated into a system. I'll talk about when I was a racist. When I was a racist guy. All my mates were racist. We had Enoch Powell in the government, and we were told that people, black people, Asian people, were coming over, taking our jobs, and they were trying to take over our country. We were taught to hate them. Yeah. So I didn't know any different. I didn't know what I was doing was wrong at 7, 8 years old, 9, 10, 11 years old. I didn't know what I was wrong. It was a normality to me. So would you advocate racism? Would you say I was a bad person? Would you say I was a bad person?
At the same age you said you were. Do you remember the Bulger killers? Who were
hold on a minute, you're avoiding me question here.
No, I want to compare.
No, I don't want to. I want you to listen to my reasoning, right? And I want you to answer my question. So stop trying to distract me, right? Otherwise, you'll get another one and slaps, right? So, would you class me as a bad person? If you just know that I'd been taught to be racist at a young age, at 8, 9, would you have said I was a bad person?
Not really, no, because you're part of society that is. It's like the religious communities who are deeply homophobic. That's their religion. Do you know what I mean? So that's where they belong. Whereas what I was trying to say was that I knew ethics when I was the same age, because like I was trying to say to you, the Bulger killers were the same age I was when they killed Bulger, but I knew at that age that was wrong. And I'm also
hold on a minute.
That ethics can be mixed up. It's person by person, isn't it?
Well, not really, because the Bulgers were psychopathic murderers and they killed people. Having a viewpoint on a race of people that's been indoctrinated and brainwashed into you is completely different, just as religion does with people.
It's an ethical question.
It is. So you are not a bad person. However, thank you. You don't know some of the things I've done in the past. However, you have been brainwashed into a way of thinking, Steve. This is what's happened to you. You've been brainwashed into a way of thinking. And everything you're saying to me is like, you've been taught this. You have been taught this. One of the analogies that people put is like, when you was a baby, if you put a baby in a crib, because some people think we're natural carnivores. Yeah? They think humans should naturally eat meat. But if you put a baby in a cot and get an apple and a rabbit, right? This is Gary Yourofsky, this.
Okay.
Do you think that the baby would eat the rabbit and play with the apple, or do you think the baby would eat the apple and play with the rabbit?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Come on, stop. Be intellectually honest with me, at least.
Okay, explain that again.
Right. So you've got a little child in a cot, a little baby in a cot. You put a rabbit and an apple.
Yeah.
Would that baby eat the rabbit and play with the apple, or would it eat the apple and play with the rabbit?
I'd say, well, babies can't eat apples because they've got no teeth. But they wouldn't have a frame of reference, would they? Between the two.
They'd play with the rabbit because they'd see it as a friend, Stephen.
Well, it depends.
How
old's the baby?
It doesn't matter how old. Stop. You're trying to wind me up. A little bit. It's a baby who has got no. Yeah. Okay.
It's hard.
So
it's hard
anyway, you know what I'm getting at is that we wouldn't naturally.
Well, you develop your ethics based on the people around you and what the world has taught you.
I'm talking more on a natural scale as well. We're not natural meat eaters because
we're all born the same. We're all born the same, but
we're all born vegan.
What we are.
We're all born vegan. I think we're all born to eat because if we were natural meat eaters, if we pulled over it on a lay-by and there was a badger that had been run over and splattered on the road, wouldn't we be salivating at the look of that if we were natural meat eaters? Well, we would, because that's what natural meat eaters do. You put any carnivore in front of roadkill and it will, whoa, yes, let's dine.
But the thing, I mean, that's why I got confused with the title, because a carnivore is something that loves that sort of thing, and it's only meat, isn't it? Whereas omnivores are ones that sort of eat vegetables. I'm a big veggie, me. I love vegetables. I don't like fruit for some reason. I don't like sloppy pears. But
I mean, there's probably fruit you haven't sort of got big on. I buy a lot of frozen fruit like blueberries and strawberries, which are pretty expensive when they're fresh, but frozen, which are even better for you because the nutrients are frozen into and locked into them. I go through blueberries and them are beautiful. Throw them in my porridge. So.
Can I just ask you a question? When we started out as a human race, like we were like the early humans, did they evolve into eating meat and then move on? And then we've got to a point now where we can actually, because we're logical and ethical, where we can plan ourselves out of eating meat? Or are you saying we never should have ate it altogether?
I would say, from what the scientific community have said, is that we were pretty much, once we evolved into the humanoids we are now, we were hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, okay? So we hunted meat. Obviously hunted meat. We
were hunter-gatherers. So you're latching onto the hunter bit straight away. But, however, gatherers, right, we went around with the seasons. We camped. We went. There were apples growing on the trees. There were tubers growing in the ground. There was berries. There was nuts. There was seeds. And we passed this information down. We learned how to strip bark and get semolinas and process grasses into breads. And hunting was the last resort because hunting was very, very consuming energy-wise.
Oh,
I mean,
I couldn't do
it. Let's put it this way: we think hunters going around with big guns, but the old style of hunting wasn't like that. What we'd do, we'd shoot an arrow, it'd injure the animal, and then we'd chase after it. For it could be for days and days and days, and we go out and hunt, and we could be gone for weeks and come back with nothing. So these scientists have found from recent soil analysis, because what happened was when they started digging these Neolithic sites, they only found bones, piles and piles of bones. So they assumed that we just ate loads of meat. But now they've got new techniques where they can test the soil, and they found absolutely shitloads of plant matter. And they've actually found that our diet was 80-90% vegetable rather than meat and animal products.
But was it important to the human race that we had meat at the beginning for brain development? Or
so you're talking about the brain growth, right? So,
how we got to being logical enlightened as we are now? You know, that's right. What I'm thinking.
So there is some studies going on, and there is some studies that have mentioned it. And when we learned how to cook on fire, when we sort of harnessed fire and we learned to cook on it, it gave us access to starchy vegetables. And this is why sometimes people say that we're starchivores. Now, when you eat starches like potatoes and tubers and stuff like that, it converts to glucose. And the human brain uses 75% of the body's glucose just to function. Yeah. And what they're saying is that the combination of us eating these starches that feed the brain, alongside planning hunts and working together and living in communities and slowly getting language, that's the reason our brains grew bigger. Because I've always said, because I've always said, well, if it was meat that made our brains grow bigger, why isn't our local cat doing like nuclear physics? You know?
You're right. Obviously,
why are all the carnivores running the earth if it was meat that made our brains grow bigger?
Yeah.
So
that's undeniable, actually, because I was looking at my cat before. I've got 2 pussies, and they're very they act on instinct. They love a good there's a bird, but they haven't developed further than their basic instinct. They haven't evolved away from being that, have they?
So let's move on to ethics.
Oh god. Because this is weird. Because when you put it against a manipulated populace, it's hard to draw a distinction. Well, what's ethical when someone has been told the whole life that this is fact, and it's still now. Okay,
so right, I've been vegan 4.5 years, getting on to 5.
What made you stop? Obviously ethics,
right?
What was the tipping point?
It wasn't ethics; it was health.
So same with me then.
I went plant-based because of health.
Yeah.
Because I found from what I looked at that it was the best policy to eat more vegetables and fruit. But I was still under the influence of the protein myth that I couldn't get the protein if I didn't eat meat. I ended up being pescatarian for a while. So we don't need animal products to live. Yeah. Are we agreed on that?
No. Everything I've ever heard about the vegan movement or the meat aspect of it, I've never said that vegan's a bad thing, because I can see it's got a place, and I can see that you can, whatever you got in meat before, you can substitute with something else for sure.
There's a comment there. No, we're very open-minded. Don't forget, most of us weren't always vegan. We had to start somewhere. So we're under agreement.
I completely agree.
We don't need meat. We don't need dairy. We don't need eggs to survive.
We don't need it, but should it be mandated through the whole population? That's the question I've got for you.
Oh no! Stop answering questions and putting other right. Let's just get a few things in place. So we don't need any animal products to survive.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question to you is, why are you paying people to abuse animals and kill them for your food if you now know that we don't need animal products to live? Why are you still doing it? What is stopping you going vegan right now?
Myself.
Yourself.
It's my own. I like, for example, it's the bacon. I like the bacon. Now I know I said before about pigs, but that's the whole body of pigs. I don't like seeing it. I don't like thinking about it. But there's one smell I can't draw away from. That's bacon. I like the smell of bacon, and that's it.
So you're happy for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of 6-week-old baby pigs that have been proven scientifically more intelligent than dogs, that can recognize themselves in a mirror, that are very loving, they're very clean animals, they have different noises, they can actually talk to each other, they're very intelligent, they've been showing playing computer games. They don't deserve a life because Steve likes the smell of bacon.
No, yes. Not happy about it. And like I said before, there's a disconnect, and it's not just me; it's the general population.
We're not talking about the general population. We're talking about you.
Yeah,
We're talking about you now. So stop
I'm a
talking about the
part of
general. No, stop talking about the general population, because all you're doing is appealing to popularity. You're just saying, "Oh, everybody else is doing it, so it's not just me doing it. It's not just me murdering. Everybody's murdering, so I'll carry on." That's what you're saying to me right now. Yes,
I'm not saying
that's
that.
exactly what you're saying now. Everybody else is murdering, so it's okay if I do it. I'm not
I'm not
bothered
saying
because
it's
everyone's
okay.
doing it.
Well, I said to you before that we both agreed on the fact that we should be doing it.
So why are you doing it?
Because I haven't stopped yet. I'm trying to figure out myself. I'm trying to figure out if I can actually make that leap, and that's why I'm having this discussion.
Is it really a big leap, though? Is it really
It is,
a big leap?
it is.
What? Okay,
If you're not minded to do it, if you're not ready to make that leap, it's impossible.
So what about the 75 billion animals that are getting raped, murdered, enslaved, tortured, and abused every year, while you're just sort of, I don't know what to do yet. I don't know what to do. What about all those lives? These are families. These are lives. These are mothers. These are fathers. These are sons. These are sisters. These are brothers. These are lives. These are not objects that you're talking about. These are not just an object, a thing, an it. This is somebody's life. This is someone's life you're talking about. But you're sat there going, I can't rush this because. Do you see what I'm saying, Steve?
Yeah, but you're putting it in such a rational way when a lot of people don't think rationally, especially me. I try my best to think of how to motivate myself into doing a lot of stuff, and it takes time. It takes, especially when you're considering a whole life change, which veganism is. It's a massive change, and you've got to be right. You've got to be ready.
Right? Can I put it to you that it's not a massive change? It's not a massive change. Tell me what you eat. Let's go. Tell me what you eat on an average day. Breakfast. You've already said porridge, yeah?
Porridge, toast. What did I have this morning?
Vegan. So porridge is vegan. Toast is vegan. If you get the Vitalite dairy-free butter, that's vegan.
Mm.
You can't really taste the difference.
I don't usually, because of the way my shift works, I usually take a sandwich with me to work, but that's in the evening.
So what do you put on your sandwich?
It can differ between cheese and corned beef or tuna, something like that.
Yeah, okay. So we've got vegan ham, we've got vegan roast beef, we've got vegan pastrami, we've got vegan salami, we've got a variety of vegan cheeses. So, and it's all there in Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, Lidl. It's all there. There's nothing hard about that. So that's veganised if you need to. And what about dinner? What about in the evening? What do you come home to? What's your go-to meal?
Well, tonight, what did I have? I had. Oh, I don't know if I should say.
Just say it. Just say what.
Is this a safe place?
This is a safe place.
I had rice with what was it, sweet chicken or something like that.
So you had birds. You ate birds.
Yes.
Yes. So you ate dead birds. So you ate dead birds. Well, if you go to Iceland, they've got chicken strips that taste exactly like chicken. This isn't chicken in Asda, a frozen chicken. You throw it in, you cannot tell any difference, and especially in a curry, you would not even know it wasn't chicken. There's so much out there. It is one
again. This is sort of the first time I've ever really openly said, right, this is what I want to find out. This is why I'm here, because more often than not, if I'm not ready to focus on something, I won't focus on it. So that's me.
Right. So we need to get back to the ethics again. Let's go through the different sort of animals and let's go through what happens to them, see what knowledge you've got and what happens to them. So what do you know about free-range chicken? Free-range eggs. Tell me what your idea is on that. What does it mean?
Do you mean
if you go into a supermarket and you buy free-range eggs,
yeah,
what do you picture when you buy your free-range eggs? What is the picture you get from those free-range eggs?
Well, the same as what you would on the pack, which is on a hill with a field, fences, loads of chickens running around inside and out. Happy. That's
Yeah.
Really.
So basically, free range means. Oops. Excuse me 1 second. Free range means basically sorry about the noise.
That's all right.
As long as the chickens, the 30,000 or so in a barn that never see daylight, have that amount of space per chicken, it's an A4 sheet of paper, they can then legally say it's free range. Now, how would you like to go for a wander around that in an evening?
But that's not like because when you think of battery farming or battery hens and that, they're in the same.
You're in
space,
cages, yes, but this is what happens is they push lies to you to make you feel better about your choices. So basically, that is free range. That is for you to walk around in if you were a chicken. I'm just nipping out for a walk, love. All right then, I'll see you in an hour or so when I've walked around this A4 sheet of paper. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
That is stupid. That is stupid.
So, what do you think happens to the male chicks in the industry?
Are they the big like cockerels?
The cockerels, the males. What happens to the males in because obviously when you breed chickens, obviously chickens are bred to lay eggs, so they've been selectively bred. Chickens should only lay about 7 or 8 eggs a year. These have been bred to lay 50, 60, 70 a year, which just it crucifies them. It strips all the calcium.
They're only small animals, and you can imagine how much that puts pressure on.
So when they're breeding these laying chickens, only the females are any use. The hens are only any use. So what do you think happens to the males?
I'd imagine they'd go off to chicken nuggets or whatever. Is that what happens?
Well, they basically put on a conveyor belt and they put in a blender alive on the first day of life. They sex straight away. As soon as the eggs hatch, they check if they're male and they're thrown into a blender alive. So
alive?
That's alive.
You sure?
I'm absolutely positive. I can show you if you want.
No,
I can show you.
Oh God, I don't want to see it.
Right. Well, so that's basically what happens to the male chicks. They blended up on that.
How's that allowed?
Because it's standard practice. It's RSPCA approved.
Well,
or the gassed as well. Or the gassed.
Well, but these are authorities that are supposed to be looking after animals. Why aren't they doing the job?
Oh, it gets worse, mate. It gets worse. So that is standard practice. So they are doing the job. As long as the male chicks, they don't care. They're objects. They're its. That's it. So that's the thing. Now, the chicken that you might get at KFC.
Yeah.
Those chickens. Now, those chickens have been selectively bred to grow very, very quickly. And they're called broiler chickens. And what happens is they grow that quickly that their own legs can't support. And a lot of them get the legs breaking under the weight of the body. So you imagine a 6-month-old baby growing up to the size of an adult, but still having baby legs. That's basically what you do into these broiler chickens. So everything is like a Frankenstein's monster when it comes to the birds that we use for our food.
And that happens in the UK.
That's standard practice in the UK. So what you need to do is...
We haven't got to America yet. Imagine what's going on over there.
Well, everywhere is very, very similar. There's not much difference between the UK, Australia, here, Canada. It's all standard practice.
Yeah.
So there's your birds. There's your birds. I mean, we haven't talked about ducks. We haven't talked about foie gras. Ducks, yeah, because we eat ducks in this country as well, don't we? Those are...
I never knew that.
You've never had a duck from Chinese? Crispy fried duck?
No, again, I'm not a big takeout person, to be honest with you. I don't like... when fish and chips, when I do like a portion of fish and chips, but I don't like if it's tiny little bones in a fish, that puts me off for like 10 months.
Well, this is a big red pill for Stephen.
Shut up.
It is a big red flag. So let's move away from birds.
Right.
Let's move towards other things. Someone's saying,
Dogs.
I can't. I'm not.
Oh,
Yeah,
hang on, I'm not even looking at this.
I'm not going to. I'm Easy Vegan. Thank you for that, but I'm not going to show any footage on the stream because
Don't.
I don't want to sort of do that. He's going to watch it anyway himself. I'm going to give him all the links to watch these things himself. I think he can imagine it. Yeah, don't we all? But the thing is, Steve, you are an actor, so you have immense empathy.
Yeah, and
you couldn't be an actor if you didn't have, because you need to be able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You need to be able to inhabit the body of somebody else, another character, another personality.
I've still got some blocks though. I have still got a lot of blocks to
work. That's our acting career. But what I'm trying to say is you've got empathy. So you should be able to put yourself in the place of these animals.
Yeah, I've got a lot of dog owner friends, and they always see how loving I am to these animals, dogs, cats, the normal animals that we all are conditioned to keep as pets. And
normal animals.
we love cats and dogs, don't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, in Southeast Asia, they love cats and dogs on the plate. Would you eat a dog?
Oh God! I mean, I was going to bring this up actually. I was like,
would you eat a dog?
Is a vegan movement growing in those countries?
But it doesn't matter. We're not talking about other countries. We're talking about our country. Would you eat a dog?
No. Well,
why?
Well, because again, like we said, the conditioning is there, isn't it? We're going, look, a dog, Whereas in those countries, it's their culture to eat dogs.
So you wouldn't eat a dog, but you would happily pay somebody to murder and stab a cow in the throat.
Not happily, no. I don't come out. I don't go out pleasure. And say it.
It's for your taste pleasure. There's no other reason for you to eat animals, only your taste pleasure.
No, I agree there, because for me, I do like the taste of those products. And
I do. I love the taste of meat. So that's why I get the mock meats and get all the other stuff. But do you know something? Since I've been vegan, it has opened up my taste, and the amount of foods I eat now, it's outstanding. It's just gone from that, pork on Tuesday, chicken on Wednesday, fish and chips on Friday. I've now gone to like this massive rainbow of different vegetables and fruits and beans and nuts and seeds and new recipes, and it's amazing. It's like opening up a whole new world.
Did I tell you I am a fussy eater? And that's always been my issue. Or I don't like anything that's too juicy or off-putting looking, and that's why it's hard for me to adapt to a new diet, and I never commit to it. And that's what I need to get over in my head.
Well, we're not talking about a diet.
I know,
I don't want you to change your diet. What I want you to do is align your moral beliefs, which is you shouldn't abuse animals.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hurt animals. You won't hurt a dog, so why would you hurt a pig, cow, or bird, or a fish? So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you aligned with your morals ethically. Because I believe that, you've already said you've seen cows and pigs being slaughtered, and you don't want to see them anymore like that. You can't possibly think.
It's definitely a partition, because it definitely had an impact, and it still does when you think back to something like that. But then you partition it away when real life kicks in again. And I'm not the sort of person who would let it happen. Do you know what I mean?
So,
like you say, I'm vegan. I'm not unethical as a person in general.
You've just said I'm a fussy eater.
I am fussy, yeah.
Yeah, but you told me one of your diets for the day, which involves sandwiches at dinner time and chicken in the evening. I've just given you the alternatives that have exactly the same texture, exactly the same taste and exactly the same consistency of what you're eating anyway. So I don't understand why
again,
the argument stands. I don't get why.
It's not an argument. It's what I'm like.
It is an argument because
I've never tried it.
You're using it as an excuse. You're saying I'm a fussy eater, therefore I need to carry on murdering animals for my food because I'm a fussy eater. Yet the alternatives are exactly the same, mimic exactly the same as the food you're saying that you can only eat because you're a fussy eater. So your fussy eater argument is completely out the window. That's not an argument against stopping animal abuse. It's not an argument.
It's not an argument for it's despite veganism. I'm not talking about veganism as a food source. That's not the fussy bit. The fussy bit is what my array of food is that I usually tend to eat. I tend to stick to something simple. I don't like any bread with seeds in, or I don't like any,
That's vegan.
With pineapple on. Do you know what I mean? I don't like that.
Vegan pizzas out there.
Well, I know that now.
yeah. I mean, when I went vegan 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
There was a couple of milks. There was nothing you could put into your coffee without it breaking apart. There weren't many fast meals, ready meals, because obviously women working odd hours and shifts and everything, it was hard for me to come home and start cooking everything from scratch. It was a ball ache. In those 4.5 years, mate, I've seen it quadruple and double quadruple and whatever that is and 12-ruple. I'm seeing about 4 or 5 ads on TV in the last hour for Aldi, Lidl and Tesco for plant-based foods. Hellmann's mayonnaise, vegan mayonnaise. There's everything you can eat that you eat now. There's a vegan version out there, so there's no excuse. Diet is not an excuse now.
Well, this is why I'm here, because again, like we were saying before, my mum, when she was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, and there was no options here. So the option for her was either vegetarian or nothing. And now, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, there's been a massive drive out there to promote veganism, and that's how I've noticed it. You know, because for me, I tend to go against the grain of society because I don't follow crowds. I never do, and it's got me bullied in the past. But veganism is one of those things that, when people, well, it's not just veganism, but other movements that tend to sort of go on TV, and you get them on TV shows, and they're going, they're trying to shame me into not eating meat, which is fine, but I tend to switch it off because it's too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, and there is ways and means of talking to people, but we've talked about it in the past and it's had no effect. So I've had to think of different tactics to talk to you, and I've got to be brutal honest with you, because if people have been if I'd had this conversation with somebody like me and I was you 10 years ago, I would have thanked them now. I would have thanked them because I would have had 10 years of like not contributing towards this disgusting Holocaust that's going on at the moment. Yeah. I mean, there's 75 billion animals murdered every year. Okay, for us to eat, for people to eat. There's 6 million people starving on this planet.
Yeah.
Right? If the whole world went vegan now, we could give 2/3 of the land that we presently grow crops on, because the majority of crops, 75% of the crops grown on this planet, are given to grow animals. Okay? Yeah. So we could give 75% of the land back, and in that 25%, if we ate the plants that we grew on that 25% of the land surface, we could feed the whole planet. So even on a humanitarian scope, veganism is your best option.
Well, this is where I hooked on, because obviously you hear a lot of big catastrophical debates going on about whether the planet can survive with the population going up and up and up, and global warming, or all this stuff, and how we can sustain each other. And I'd like to think that we could sustain ourselves on a national level. Is that where you stand?
Well, right. It takes 1,000 litres of water to make 1 pint of milk, 1 litre of milk.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea of how many resources we actually use.
If we do it on a local level, so like say the UK went completely vegan and started doing its own thing instead of making it in another country and shipping it over, would that be better?
Sorry, I missed that. I'm just trying to find something. I'm going to share a screen with you, and I'm just going to show you something now.
Deprived, ground up alive. These are late hatcheries.
Yeah, these are late hatcheries. Like, when they put these in here, these birds, where are the eggs still?
At a massive hatchery operated by Sanderson Farms, which supplies chicken meat to Kroger, Sysco, Arby's, and others, a PETA U.S. eyewitness documented the plight of these young victims of the poultry industry. Newborn chicks were left to languish in barren plastic crates, sometimes near the bodies of birds who had already died. Deemed useless by the company, those birds who did not die were ground up alive in a machine similar to the one seen here at another company.
So, sorry about that, but I mean, that's for something as so innocuous as an egg, or as we like to call it in the vegan world, a chicken period, which comes out of a chicken's ass, is what we're eating. So I'm just trying to get rid of the screen. I mean, you look at that, Steen, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, not very good, no.
And I mean, I'm not going to show you the gas chamber footage for pigs, because pigs are, I mean, you may have thought that gas chambers ended with the Nazis, with the Jewish Holocaust, but gas chambers have been alive and well, and they've been imported into Britain, and 80 to 90% of the pigs in this country are put into gas chambers. They're lowered into carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, which reacts with any liquid, tear ducts or anything like that. And they just literally burn from the inside, and then they're stabbed in the throat. And are you all right, mate?
No, it's all right. It's fine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you, but I felt I needed to show it you, because unless you see what's actually happening, it's a hard one. You're making me well up a bit.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, and this is what I'm trying to say is it needs to be seen to be believed.
You're right.
And for the simple choices of your food, and I mean, you were saying tonight, what am I going to have for supper? And you could now just walk past that meat aisle, walk past that milk aisle. You can go and get a whole array of like plant-based foods and plant-based chickens and burgers and the milks. Get the old Tilly barista for your tea. Do you drink tea and coffee?
Oh, I love a cup of tea, mate.
Right, well,
I have tried it with like Alpro and stuff like that.
Well,
but
you need to get
the same hit. You see, that's what it is. It doesn't have the same hit. Yeah.
Hang on 1 second. I shall show you now. Right. Okay. Let's share this. Don't worry. This is.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm managing.
Right. Right. This is called Old Tilly Barista Foamable.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And that, I give it to my mother, who has been drinking tea for 70 years. I slipped it in a brew, and she didn't even notice the difference. The difference.
Okay.
So, get that for your tea and your coffee.
Well, obviously, when I've tried to have like, it doesn't have the same kick. But if that does, then how happy?
What do you mean by a kick?
You know what? It's that thing of like when you think of a nice, perfect cup of tea, it's a different texture and a different taste when it hits your taste buds. But when I've tried to, do it with other stuff like Alpro or what's that other one called now? There's another one.
Oh, there's a full array. There's over 20.
I tried it because I was drinking too much milk, and my vocal coach at the time said it doesn't help your hay fever if you drink too much milk, because it produces more mucus.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the mechanisms of eating animal products is it causes inflammation in cells and everything. Cheese, dairy has been linked to asthma. It's been linked to eczema and it's been linked to acne.
So I do give up milk during the summer months because it did work. It helped me clear it up a lot. But then when it gets winter,
well, I mean, if you get oat milk is beautiful. It doesn't taste of much, so you can put it in your porridge. And there's rice milk, there's soy milk, there's almond milk, there's sweetened, unsweetened, there's all sorts. I mean, I'm Easy Vegan says I've shown you the most expensive one, but to be honest with you,
oh my, you got shares in the company, have you?
I'm not on commission at all. But the thing is, mate, is that that's the only one I found that I could put in tea, and it didn't break up, and it didn't taste of anything. It just tasted like a proper cup of tea with proper milk in, lad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. And the other thing that I like chocolate. I like Twixes. I know it's kind of random, but I was having a Twix last night, and they went, "Can I have this?" if I was a vegan, I was questioning everything.
No,
Twix.
Well, you see, this is what I mean. What you do if you went vegan now?
Yeah.
What you will do is it will take you about a couple of shops for you to look for the alternatives.
Yeah.
We've got the internet here. We've got the internet. It's brilliant. It's like this thing where you can just put stuff in. So let's put in vegan chocolate. And click on shopping.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I haven't seen any of the comments, so sorry about that.
It's all right. I'm going to start looking at the comments and putting them up now. Right, I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to show you what I've got on. Okay, so look, we've got Galaxy, Numo, Lint, Vigo bars. Look at it all. Look at it all. It's going on. It's still going. It's still going. It's still going. It's just there's just so much out there. We're big business. Us vegans now are big business. So you're not going to want the. What did I have? Vegan Magnums. There's 3 in a box. I ate all 3 in one night. All 3 in one night. Because Bourneville chocolate.
I know for a fact that's when vegan stuff started really taking off through the confectionaries, through the desserts. But at the time when I first tried them, it didn't really taste that good. But that was about 5 years ago. So people have baked it for me since, and they've tasted nice, you know. Angarad's
life. Angarad used to be on CBeebies.
Oh, who said that then about homemade Twix?
Angarad. This is what I'm talking about. She used to be on CBeebies. Yeah. I don't know whether your little one would have watched her on TV.
How long ago was it?
What was your character name, Angarad? You'll have to let me know what your character name was.
Because CBeebies was a big fixture in my life about 10 years ago.
Well, Angarad's been vegan for a while now, and she's great on it.
Hello there, thanks for that. I'll check them out because if Twix,
vegan Cadbury on the Tesco website the other day.
Does it always does it run out? Because I know it's been quite popular in Asda and that, like vegan cakes or vegan products.
No, because the demand's there now. The demand's there. But the trouble is, if you go to like Lidl and Aldi, now they're doing this big veganuary, vegan plant-based options.
Yeah.
There is stuff selling out, but Asda have got a dedicated vegan aisle.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah. So let's talk about dairy.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We haven't talked about dairy yet. So give me your perception on the dairy industry. How does it work? What's the mechanism? How do we get milk? What happens?
Well, I think I know a bit more about this. This was where they put like mechanical on the teats and just keep them in a cage and it sucks out.
Why does the cow produce milk in the first place, though? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I think you told me this on Safe from Harm. You said that they make them permanently pregnant. Is that right?
No, there's no such thing as permanently pregnant. No, what they do is they use AI, which is basically they artificially inseminate cows. So what they do,
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
yeah, they stick the fist up the cow's ass. So a human fists a cow to start with, holds down the cervix. They get bull semen, which they have got from a bull by sticking an electric vibrator up its ass, so it comes, collecting the sperm in a jar.
Okay. This sounds like a good night out for me.
Yes, well, people pay for stuff like this, and then they basically squirt it up the cow's vagina, and that's how they get the cows pregnant. So it's basically rape and sexual assault because there's no willing partners in this. On either side, on the bull side, on the cow side. So when the cow gives birth, she's going to give birth to a calf. So what do you think they do with the calf? Because they don't want the calf to drink the milk.
Oh God, I don't want to know. To be honest. I've got to know, haven't I?
You know what I'm going to have to tell you.
Tell me.
So,
you're gonna have to tell me.
So if it's a female calf, she's put back into the system. She's fed formula. And she's put into the system where she'll get forcibly impregnated over and over and over for 7 to 8 years until they're spent, and then they're sent to the slaughterhouse for beef because like 70 or 80% of the beef is from spent dairy cows. If it's a male calf, not so good. They're taken into the yard, they're either shot or they're hit with a lump hammer on the head, or they're reared for a few months until they put a bit of weight on, and they're given to the veal industry. They take it to a slaughterhouse and stabbed in the throat for the veal industry. So we've got all sorts of abuse that goes on with that. I mean, a cow's supposed to live till about, I think it's 12 or 13 years old, maybe a bit longer. After 7 years. I mean, when you see cows with the big udders, do you think, like, wow, don't cows have big udders? And
I've never really given it much thought, honestly. I've never given
I like
it
it. I think, well, big, them big sacks, don't they get big? But it's not. It's because of intensive breeding and like selective breeding, and again, cows produce way more milk than they're supposed to. But not only that, they inject cows with estrogen so that they produce milk for longer. So what happens when you drink milk, Steve, is that basically, if I said to you, right, I've got some tablets here, and they're from a friend of mine who was born a man, but he wants to become a woman, so he's taking these hormone pills. Would you like to try some of these hormone pills? And you would obviously say, no, what the hell, I don't want to. But when you're drinking or eating cheese or dairy, that's exactly what you're doing. You're actually taking on estrogen, female hormones, mammalian hormones into your body. And this is why men, when they get to 50s, this section excluded, right? This is why we get moobs. This is why men get moobs. It's actually breast tissue that grows after a full life of drinking and ingesting mammalian hormones. It's crazy. And it also plays around with your hormones anyway. It's been linked to prostate cancer in men because, as you know, anything that plays around with your hormones will play with your mental health as well, because they put a strong link with your stomach and gut flora with your brain as well. There's a big link with that. So a lot of people say eating violence is pretty much bad because you produce certain chemicals that cause depression and whatever. So, there's a lot to it, mate. So dairy is one of the most cruel. Dairy is the cruelest of all.
I'd have thought the opposite. I'd have thought, before you said that, I'd have thought having that process going on, not the injections or anything like that, but just sucking milk from a teat. You'd have thought that was just a normal process that doesn't take much time.
What is milk? What is cow's milk for?
What, in general, or always for their cattle, for their offspring? Isn't it?
So it's to grow a calf, right? And a calf grows into a 1 ton, 2 ton animal. Yeah. So why are we drinking a secretion from an animal that is meant to grow a little calf into a 2 ton animal? And why are we drinking that and not expecting it to harm us? You know, and then when you start seeing all the obesity problems in the Western world, it starts to all add up, doesn't it? Like, well, hold on a minute, we're drinking and eating secretions that are like meant to grow a tiny animal into a massive one. I mean, would you drink dog's milk or cat's milk?
No. Just thinking about it, no. I don't. Again, it's that thing of you grow up in a society that accepts one thing and doesn't accept another.
Would you drink breast milk from a human?
In the early days.
Yeah, well, would you give you a bottle of milk? I mean, personally, I'd probably Eve if someone gave me that. But would you drink breast milk from your own species?
I'd have a good go. And see if the woman produced anything, and if she didn't, then I'd give up.
Let's say it was in a carton. Let's say it was in a carton.
No. The very thought of it is sort of like, isn't it? Did you watch that TV show, The Boys, recently, where he was drinking like milk from a woman in a cup?
It's supposedly something to do with bodybuilding. Bodybuilders are doing this, drinking women's breast milk as well. Yeah,
that's very strange, that, isn't it?
Why though? Why? Why is it strange? Why is it strange to drink milk from your own species, but you think it's okay to drink it from a fucking cow?
I don't know.
We're twisted up, man. We're totally twisted up.
Well, we are, honestly. This is all about how the world has been moulded into a shape where its consumerism takes over.
That's astounding, isn't it? We wouldn't drink milk from our own species, but we would drink it from a fucking animal.
You said this on the set, and it blew my mind. Even though I've heard it before, it was only the way you, because this is why I like you. You put it in ways I can understand. That sort of
person, I mean, I try and look at the. I mean, I understand mechanisms. I understand how when we eat cholesterol and saturated fat, it increases your LDL cholesterol.
Yeah.
Right? It's taken me years to understand this. Once our cholesterol reaches a certain point, because it is a parabolic curve, it sort of plateaus off after it reaches high. And we live in a sick generation, so doctors will tell you when your cholesterol's about 4 or 5, you're in the normal range, but above you should be worried. Well, no, my cholesterol's 2.2. It should be under 3. Yeah?
Right, okay.
So once your cholesterol goes over 4 or 5, you get something called atherosclerosis. And what that does, all the cholesterol that your body normally clears out of its arteries, it starts sticking to your artery walls.
Yeah.
And as it builds up, as you get older and older and older, the blood flow is reduced. And eventually you will either have a heart attack or one of these little sort of cysts on the side of your artery will break off, go through your bloodstream, hit your brain and give you a stroke.
Yeah.
You know? On the other side of it, erectile dysfunction is a precursor to heart disease. So how many times an evening do you see erectile dysfunction pills going on? Erectile dysfunction. It's not a normal part of life, erectile dysfunction. It's a very abnormal part of life. We shouldn't suffer from it.
Yeah, I mean, you see on the media, though, that it's advertised all the time now. It's like, have you got this? Well, try these pills. They will help. And I thought that was just a normal part of aging, really.
See, the other surprising thing is doctors, no doctor will prevent a disease, will tell you how to prevent a disease.
No,
and I find that very strange as well.
It's never preventative, is it? It's always...
The system's not built that way. The system is built for doctors to provide prescriptions that are patented, that are produced by pharmaceutical companies, that are the richest companies in the world, that work hand in hand with the animal agriculture industry, who are making us ill. So it's a nice little circle. It works beautifully. When people talk about the circle of life, the Lion King, well, that's the circle of death that we're in. Yeah? The pharmaceutical companies get money every time the doctor prescribes drugs. The pharmaceutical companies fund the government funds the animal agricultural industry that keeps us ill. So it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Totally.
You know, statins, erectile dysfunction pills, indigestion tablets. It's just... Doctors get the equivalent of 4 or 5 hours nutritional training. So a doctor cannot advise you on diet. If you went to your doctor and he said, well, start eating this, stop eating that, he'd be talking blind. He would not have a clue. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Just doesn't
again, I did once about 2 years ago when I did consider this before. I phoned the doctor and said, "Can I have a referral for a dietitian?" And who's this? Sorry, Bart.
It's one of my friends. Got to go, Jack. Now, Jack, Steve, is Daniela and Adam's son, and he's been vegan from birth, and he's one of the future. So he's going to be the future of veganism. So a nurse is trained to prevent. So how many people are you telling to go vegan then, Deb? How many people are you telling to go vegan? Even the pharmaceutical doctor health industry is setting us up for a fail.
Well, it's a nice little thing for them, but what I worry about is the vegan movement in particular. Are you scared that it's been hijacked by people who want to divide rather than push your agenda? Well, because whenever the media, because I hate the media, I think that they're only there to divide people up into certain factions. So I'd rather we do what we're doing and have a nice debate and talk about it, and then the good ideas will come to fruition. But whenever you see the media try and interview a vegan, they're always shouting people down, aren't they? What do you think? Yeah,
they do. They do, because the media they don't want this to happen. They don't understand it. So I'm not going to be vegan because of the vegan movement.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is that you feel like the whole of media is against this.
Well, against not just against the movement, but using it as a tool to divide people from actually having a proper debate and a proper chat.
Let's go back in time. Let's go back to the days of slavery. Yeah, and we've got black slaves. This country's making a shitload of money because we've got all these black slaves doing all the labour for nothing. We're not even feeding them. You're not even feeding them. We're just whipping them to keep them working. And that's what we're doing. And somebody wants to stop it. Someone says to all these toffs who run the country, "Whoa, hold on a minute. What you're doing is wrong." Do you think that the media, if this media was back then, what do you think they would be doing a similar thing? Oh, this crazy fucking extremist idiot wants to stop slavery.
I know, and it benefits us so much.
This slavery benefits us so much. It gives us free labour. It cuts the costs of cotton picking, you know.
Yeah.
So do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Until we get that curve of more people vegan, there's a certain percentage that we need to get people vegan to sway certain things, policies in government and the media. But the media are coming on their side as well, and I think people think, because the internet's there. The internet's there.
Yeah, and that was only the question really, because whenever people like Piers Morgan, he's the worst, isn't he? He'll bring on a vegan just to shout at them, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help bring people on, does it?
Do you know something? You know when Piers Morgan went on about the vegan sausage roll from Greggs, and he spat it out. You may not have heard of that.
I don't watch Piers Morgan. If I can
Piers Morgan came on, and he's very anti-vegan, and he got a vegan sausage roll, and he basically tried it on screen and then spat it out and said it was disgusting. The day after he did that, the sale of vegan sausage rolls from Greggs went through the roof. They couldn't keep up with demand. So even when the media try and dispel it, it has the opposite effect. Because what I'm trying to say, Steve, is that when you line your actions up with your ethical stance, which you don't want to abuse animals, you don't want to hurt animals.
No.
Once you line up your actions with that and stop going to the death aisle and stop buying cow secretions full of mammalian hormones and stop going and getting the happy eggs from the happy farm where they wander around.
Yeah, that's ironic, isn't it, now thinking about it?
Then you've aligned your action with your morals, and I think this is what you need to do, and I really do think that you're there. I mean, what is going to stop you changing when you walk away from this chat today? What is What do you think will change for you?
Well, that video before, because I was, hang on, just adjusting me. Seeing that video before, it's like what I was saying to you before about the pig. It puts a new reality, a new spin on what I didn't know to be true. Because, like I said to you before, myself and a lot of other people out there don't look past a certain point. They just go, "Well, I'll pick that up," and eat it, and I do enjoy the taste of meat.
Yeah.
And like you said, that'll never change. But my issue has always been, if I'm going to do this, how am I going to do this? And this was a couple of years ago, and I understand from what you showed me that there's a lot more out there than meets the eye. Because again, I don't research it. I haven't researched it. So
what about things like leather and wool?
Well, I don't.
Because if you say you're going to adopt a vegan philosophy and lifestyle,
well, this is another area I don't know about. What is this? Is this? Are you talking about material? What I'm wearing?
Leather is cow skin. Leather is the skin of a cow. I mean, would you, if I got a load of kids and ripped the skin off them and made them into a nice coat, would you wear that? No, you wouldn't. You know, and same with the wool industry. The wool industry is brutal. People think it's a nice industry, but they actually dock the tails, they rip the testicles off them, they're horrible. And sheep are bred now to produce way more wool than they're supposed to. Natural sheep, the original natural animal, the sheep, they shed the wool naturally. It drops off in winter. Yeah. But because these sheep that we've genetically engineered now to produce more wool, they've got to be sheared. And these sheep shearers are paid per sheep. And they are brutal with them. They kick them, they stamp them, they cut them. They're not careful with them. And there's loads of footage out there. You need to watch Dominion, Stephen. You need to watch Dominion. It's a hard watch. You'll be in tears, but you need to watch it. But I've got something. Oh, hang on a minute. What's this? Stephen, you have had plant-based burgers at mine and you liked. You've been grassed up, boy. Oh.
Well, how can it be grassed up? I didn't know it was plant-based burger. When was this?
Well, hold on a minute. Rewind. Yep. You said you didn't realise they were plant-based.
No, I don't know how recently that was. So there you go.
What more do I have to say? What more do I have to say?
Deborah's helped you prove your point. Amazing.
What's this here? I can't stop killing mosquitoes as they are really annoying. Great comment. Right, I want to show you. I have no idea. It might be. I don't know. It's either a troll comment or it's an ironic comment. One or the other.
I didn't realise. Honestly,
he didn't realise.
I didn't realise. When was this? You put something in my body without my knowledge and consent.
Listen, Aaron's put it on anyway. Dan, quick shout out to the Vegan Switch new website, Webist. We learned to spell, Aaron, for God's sake. Everyone, please share veganswitch.org, because if you're having trouble, this is the Vegan Switch. It's on Instagram, and it's myself and a few other vegans, and we will mentor people to help them switch to a vegan lifestyle, with the ethical side of it being at the forefront of it, and how to eat right and how to find certain things, you know. I just wanted to show you something, Steve, as well. This is one of the most, and there's no blood and guts in this. Right. I want to show you this because it's classed, apparently this is classed the most humane way of slaughter.
Okay. Oh, God.
I'm not going to play the audio.
What's that?
So basically, it's electrocuting them before they get stabbed in the throat.
What? It's been stabbed as well?
No, this is just electrocution. Then they will go down and then they will get stabbed in the throat.
I've never seen a machine like this.
This is how mechanized the whole industry's become. This is in China.
I never knew that, because the last time I saw something like this, it was literally by hand. They were hanging them up and cutting the throat, and that's what.
Well, that's what'll happen next. That's what'll happen next. So in the UK, the difference is that it will be a gas chamber. But look how it's the Matrix. It's just the Matrix. They're not sentient beings in their eyes. There they are. They're cutting the throats there. I won't play anymore.
No,
but they're objectified. They're absolutely objectified. They're just things. They're just it. They're just a piece of shit.
I knew there was I knew there was a conveyor belt. The way in which we're consumers. I knew that it had to happen somewhere, but I didn't realize it was on like a big mechanical thing. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't think that was happening.
There's a lot out there, mate. There's a lot of footage out there, and this is happening every second of every day. There's a lot of abuses going on, and what you've got to get in your head is these. I mean, you've got children, your father, and you've got your lovely missus, your partner. So all these animals that are being taken, pigs are 6 weeks old when they're taken to slaughter. Cows are 7 years old. Chickens are weeks or just months old. These are babies. Lambs. I mean, come on, a lamb. You're eating a lamb. Oh, let's eat a lamb's leg, you know? It's just...
I used to love minted lamb up until it was only like 10 years ago, and then suddenly I realised what it was. And I thought, hang on. And it's that association with what you're eating. I didn't associate it.
It's bad, isn't it? Even though it's called the thing that you eat. Yeah. So lamb is called lamb and chicken is chicken.
But you don't.
So I like to call them birds. I like to call them baby sheep. I don't like saying lamb anymore. I like to say baby sheep, because lamb is just, in people's minds, just food now, as is chicken. It is a chicken, but in people's heads, when you say chicken, they think of the food. They don't think that it's a bird, an animal, a sentient being. No? Yeah. I mean, even fish are sentient. They've been shown to be sentient. They've got self-awareness. They've got awareness of the surroundings. They feel pain, you know?
Yeah.
And just on the medical side of it, there's a lot of toxins in the oceans. There's a lot of heavy metals, and tuna is one of the most highly laced with oh my God, what's it called? Mercury. Tuna is very heavily laced with mercury, because what happens? All these small microbes ingest it, and then the fish eat the fish, eat the fish, eat the fish, eat the fish, till it gets up to the size of a tuna, and that tuna has eaten everything that all those previous fish have like ingested, and it's really bad. But they're very sentient. It's been shown that when people go fishing in a lake or a river, that once a fish has been caught, and they do feel the hook, the hook.
Yeah, I never got that argument. Yeah,
they do feel. They won't go back to that spot for years after. They won't go back to that spot in the water. They were aware, you know.
Yeah, that always got to me, that when fishermen would go, oh, it's all right, click. And I was like, that must hurt. It must do.
And it's also the environmental impacts of this as well. Is the environmental impact is like when you see the cows and the sheep in the fields, they're there, you know. But the cows in winter now, the cows will be in a barn for 6 months.
Yeah.
And food is imported. Most of the food is imported.
I know.
For them to eat. It's soya and stuff like that. All this soya could be fed to humans, you know, and yet we're importing it, and all that carbon footprint. There's swathes of forest being chopped down to create land to grow food to feed cattle, which in turn feeds less people than the crops originally grown to feed the cattle. It's craziness, mate.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Craziness.
That is very crazy.
We grow enough food to feed 75 billion animals a year, but there's only 7 billion humans on the planet.
Wow. And you know? Again, it's putting it in those contexts that makes it more aware in my brain. When you line it all up and you go, right, this is the logical state of where we're at, and the one thing that I want to do is I want to move into a place where I'm completely aware of myself and aware of everything I'm doing, not just to the planet, but locally. And so it's been a couple of years now where I've been saying to myself, who am I? What do I do? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And because I built up a massive wall to everything. What's this about oysters?
What about oysters? They don't show much movement. Well, okay, eat an oyster. I mean, why would you want to eat an oyster? What's the point? It's a bivalve. We don't know whether it's sentient or not, but why eat it? It's a living thing. Why don't you just leave it be? There's plenty of food out there you can eat that isn't living. Just eat plants. Why eat an oyster? Just leave them where they are, for God's sake.
There's one thing that I wanted to ask about plants, because this is one thing that a couple of my meat eater friends ask is, aren't plants sentient?
Right. Okay. What is sentience?
Self-awareness, I suppose, isn't it?
So, would you? Oh, Mangrad was in his show. It was called Melody. So on CBeebies.
Melody.
Yeah. Yeah. So
awful.
So sentience is like self-awareness. You feel
self-awareness, feeling,
pain, fear, happiness. Yeah. So a plant hasn't got a central nervous system, and a plant hasn't got a brain. So do you really think that a plant is self-aware? It might react to stimulus, but do you really think a carrot will feel as much as a rabbit if you stabbed it and chopped it to pieces?
According to Lidl.
Yeah.
That was a great advert. But no, you're right. It's just one of those questions.
Plants aren't sentient. No, what that question is, Steve, is a desperate last-ditch attempt by a carny to carry on murdering animals. I mean, let's say, okay, let me put this to you. Let's say, that plants do feel pain. Okay, let's put that on the table. Plants do feel pain, correct? Okay. So we are growing enough plants to feed 75 billion animals, but there's only 7 billion animals on the planet, million humans on the planet.
Yeah.
So we should, if we care about plant rights, we should therefore stop eating. We should go vegan anyway. The default mode is vegan to save plant lives as well, because we kill less plants by being vegan.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I like that, because again, it's logical, it's reasonable. What's this?
Definitely.
No. What are you doing, Helen? For goodness sake.
Let's find some gas chamber footage.
I'll have you, Helen.
So have you got any more projects coming up, mate?
What am I doing now? Well, I've got that acting class coming up, and I'm trying to do a couple more show reels. But apart from that, it's one of those years, isn't it? It's the virus thing. You can't really plan too much, can you?
Right, let's have a look at this. Guys, if you're at a nervous disposition, please look away. No. Okay, sure. Audio. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's this one. Right, hang on a minute. 1 second. Get off you. Can you see that virtue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the gas chamber.
See, I'm not seeing it.
So they're being lowered down into the gas now, and it's like a big carousel. And you can hear them screaming for their lives. They want to get out. They want to escape. They know what's going on. They can hear each other. They can smell the fear in each other. And this is RSPCA approved, by the way.
And this is us. This is UK, isn't it?
This is standard. This isn't UK gas chamber, but this is standard practice in the UK. They use exactly the same machines. So now the gas is hitting them. They can't breathe. They're suffocating. They're thrashing around. Yeah. It's
hard to hear. It's hard to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. And these are more intelligent than dogs. They've likened the intelligence of a pig to that of a 3-year-old human child. So that's how they are.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that either.
And
So
that's
have I got to sort of sue the education system? Because a lot of the stuff that's come, I mean, I was always in a small class anyway. I had special needs growing up, so my knowledge absorption wasn't as good. But I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, but nobody
hold it back.
Nobody does. Who out there in the comments knew about all this before they went vegan? You know, are there any questions for Stephen? Because I'm going to start wrapping it up because I've been at him now for nearly 1.5 hours and it's been really interesting. If there's any questions for Steve down there, just throw them up now. But I'm gonna say to you, Steve, now what we've talked about today, can you really justify after tonight going into that supermarket and buying any product that is from a murdered, raped, tortured, enslaved, abused animal anymore?
No.
There's nothing that can justify that.
No, because if you can source the same stuff from somewhere else, then it can be stopped. And if enough people did that, then you don't have to see it. I don't have to watch that. Do you know what I mean? I know it doesn't exist anymore. So that's my position at the moment.
So are you going vegan?
Yes, I will. The thing with me is that the question for me wasn't am I going vegan, it's when I'm going vegan, and I want to go vegan straight away.
Are you going vegan now?
For veganuary, or to try it out, or to say completely?
No, for life. Why would you go back to it? Why would you go back to abusing animals, murdering animals?
I wouldn't honestly. The thing is to watch something like. Oh, thanks, Helen. Thanks for that. Yes, I feel like I'm getting enough love in the comments. Have I got some support?
You've got massive support. Look at all the comments I'm throwing up on the screen.
I'm only seeing them now. And there's a website as well. Look, I just want to say before, I might have come across as a bit ignorant, and I just didn't consider what was going on outside me. It's like that song, "Look outside your window." You know, things are going on. I didn't consider it because it didn't affect me, and maybe it come across as a bit ignorant, and I don't want to come across as ignorant anymore. Not when you see something, you can't unsee it, and it's been a last 10 years where I feel that I if I'm gonna go for it, I need to go for it now, before I get to a certain point. I mean, how old were you when you went vegan, Dan?
I was about 4.5 years ago, so I was basically 48.
48.
I started the journey, the plant-based journey, at 47, 46. But yeah, I didn't go. If somebody give me this grilling that I've given you today, I would have done it a lot sooner. And I wish I had done it so much sooner. I wish I had done it.
You haven't grilled me. You've been patient with me, I think. What do you think? Do you think I've taken in the information? Because
I've been honest with you, because I know if I hadn't been honest with you, these lot on here would have ripped me a new one. Let's put it that way. Because what we're doing is we're defending animals, Steve. This is what we're all about, yeah? My food doesn't scream. We're defending animals. If you saw a dog being battered to death by someone outside, you wouldn't walk past and ignore it. Or if you knew someone down the road was breeding dogs and abusing them and kicking them and treating them like shit, you'd report them. You'd speak up. You'd speak. And people have this assumption about vegans, they've always got to mention it and all this. But of course we have, because we want to stop this animal abuse. And like you said, you compartmentalised it. You put it to one side. You didn't want to see it. As long as they didn't like animals, you were fine with it. Yeah. And this is what we've got to try and stop, you know. There's loads of support for you here, mate. Bloody hell. Challenge 22.
I think you know what? Remember at the beginning of this conversation when I was saying that my mum was always a vegan, but because of society, she had to go veggie instead, or there wasn't enough support at the time. And then she's slowly grown into veganism in the last 20 years. I think I've been the same. I think that I've always had the ethics there. I've always had the ability to come out I just needed this kick up the ass. What do you think?
Yeah, you need to kick up the ass. Everybody needs to kick up the ass. Everybody needs to kick up the ass. I mean, this is why we do outreach on the streets, is because once you have these conversations, there's no turning back. It makes you open your eyes. It is really like
easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'll use that.
Much respect.
Well, when this video is finished, can I look back at the comments? Because I haven't been looking.
Yeah, sure you can. Yeah, sure you can. It's never too late to start. Yeah, I'm proof of that. God.
Do you think it's like if you don't start, the younger the better? So if we can get the education system to sort of promote this in a more positive light and keep going, and then by the generation, about 50 years' time, majority will be vegan. Is that what we're aiming for?
Well, definitely. We've got something going into schools now. We're trying to make sure that schools can cater for vegan children. Because it's a protected philosophical view now. So let's say I go to work state and I say I need some gloves, and it's part of my PPE. And they gave me some gloves yesterday, and they were suede. And I said I can't wear them. I'm not wearing suede gloves. And they give me some rubber ones. If they hadn't given me some rubber ones and said, no, you're not working here, go home, I could have sued them, because it's now classed as a philosophical viewpoint, just as religion. So schools have to come on board with it as well now, because you can't have... I mean, can you imagine some kids at school picking on some kid because he was Asian or black? Kids are protected. There'd be uproar, wouldn't there? If they went around calling them this and that, right? There'd be uproar. Well, when vegan kids are being bullied, nobody bothers. But now it's got the same sort of standing as that philosophy as religion. So now the schools have got to keep up. Same with milk at junior schools and all this stuff.
I work in a warehouse at the moment, and it does all sorts. But the last night they put me into like the freezer and the fridge area. Would you do that if you worked in a warehouse, or would you have to say no?
Again, sorry.
So did you not hear that?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at a comment. Sorry, mate.
Oh no, basically I work in a warehouse now, and we ship all sorts. But last night I went into the meat area, where you taking meat out and you're getting it ready to ship out to store. Could you still work in that environment as someone who's vegan?
I'm a trucker.
Yeah.
Right. Well, right. Can someone post up the definition of veganism for me, please? I don't know the definition of veganism. I drive a wagon and I go and pick up at Protein Works. The Protein Works do protein powder. Protein powder has got whey in it, milk. I pick it up.
Yeah.
I've got to do. It's part of my job. I live in a non-vegan world. Okay, so we've got to. I wouldn't on the acting side of it. I would not go and do an ad for ribeye steaks, but I would do an ad for Asda, even though they sell. Or I might do an ad for McDonald's if it was for the plant-based burger.
Okay, I get that.
But the stuff you can't help, like tyres on cars, aren't vegan. There's certain things that aren't vegan. It's wherever practical. So if you haven't got much income and you can't afford to replace your leather sofa with a totally vegan, all singing, dancing one, you don't do it. You can't do it. It doesn't mean you're any less vegan. It's what's ever practical.
Yeah. So like you say, where I work, I get shipped into different areas of. Oh, what's this? Oh.
Right, this is it. So veganism is a philosophy and a way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So that's the definition. So those two words there, possible and practicable, that's what applies to us living in a non-vegan society, is we can't avoid a lot of the stuff.
Because it's still mainstream, isn't it?
It's still we live in a non-vegan world, so we ain't going to get everything. Someone's asking, what's your decision?
Yes.
It's going to go vegan, folks.
And you know why? You know why? Because that the philosophy of the way of living which seeks to exclude, that is like a mantra I can live by, which helps me to plan, if you get me. Because like with acting, you tend to have a year plan of what you want to achieve, don't you? And so this is sort of puts it in that same bracket for me, and it helps me to decide, because my missus does all the shopping. So she'll have to sort of figure it all out and help me figure it out. Does that make sense?
What does your missus think about it?
What about this discussion? Or about veganism?
Are you going to have this discussion, or have you talked about it previously? What's her view?
She was obviously she supports anything I decide to do. I mean, she could see this coming a mile off, because obviously I've struggled to try and do the right thing for a long time, and when it comes to food, I needed to make a choice and stick by it, and I hadn't. I kept dilly-dallying. So she supports it, and I reckon she'll get downstairs and go, "What?" Because she expected me to come upstairs and go, "Nah, sod it," because it's meat. I like meat and all this lot. But again, when you show me stuff like that, it's hard to ignore.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
It's hard to ignore.
You can't ignore it. How can you? It's like me showing you footage of the Nazi concentration camps. And
there's a reaction there, isn't there?
Yeah, look at what these do. Would you do if you were paying money to contribute towards the Nazis doing that to Jews? Would you do that, Steve? Would you continue? No. You know it. So how can you now, after I've shown you everything I've shown you and told you what it's all about? How can you possibly pay somebody now to stab an animal in the throat, abuse them, rape them, enslave them?
Was it someone in the comments before who said about red pill?
Oh, Bev Llewellyn, super chat, $3.99. Thank you, Bev. Yahoo, she's happy. See you, Bev. She's one of my followers on Instagram and YouTube, and she sent me £3.99. So I might, with that, treat you next time I see you to a vegan burger, to an Impossible Burger. I think I might do.
Can I just ask though, because I'm gonna need a lot of advice on this, because I know my mum's vegan, but I need someone who can live and breathe this process with me.
Gawain, if you go on the vegan switch, we can help you on that.
That's the website that was put up.
But if you contact Gawain, and he's an ex animal farmer,
loving the beard. I wish I could grow that.
There was a bit of romance going on here. If you find Gawain Bowl on Facebook, he says he'll help you. He's going to help you, because he lives on a beach in a hut.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, he does. Basketball.
Oh, he's gone. Where's he gone? Yeah, there you are. I was just about to type it in, it went on. Gawain what? Gawain Bowell.
Bowell.
Yeah.
Bowell.
Has he got a football thing on?
No, I don't think it is.
Is that him? Oh, you can't see it, can you? He's holding. Oh no, he's holding like an egg. Oh, it says "Taste the Future, Go Vegan" on his top.
There you go. There you go. Now you know it's him.
Yeah, because he's got like I can't see it because of the light, but he's got like this big, looks like an egg. He's got the last post he did. Oh, sorry, I'm rambling now.
Have a look at the vegan switch as well. Here's another definition. Veganism is the practice of abstaining from the use of animal products, particularly in diet and associated philosophy, that rejects the commodity status of animals. Wikipedia. Yeah. There's quite a few definitions. But basically, my definition, I'll give you my definition of veganism. Stop being a twat. Stop murdering animals. Right? Stop it. It's fucking horrible.
I prefer the word cunt.
You're a fucking psychopath. Stop it.
I'm sorry.
It. Right, listen, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you all for giving your support. It's a victory. We've won. And if he thinks that he's going to get away and go back to his murderous ways after this stream, he's got another thing coming.
Well, I'm not going to put it out there. I'm not going to put it out there, and then people could take pictures of me in a restaurant or something.
I think you should put it out there on all your social medias now. I am now vegan. And then everybody will be watching every move. Because
this is it.
Meat eaters love to catch vegans out. So get on that social media and declare to the world, that you are vegan now. And I will be outside your house on several occasions. In your window, making sure that you're not eating the dead bodies of any animals, Stephen.
Okay.
We need a part 2 stream of this. Well, I'll tell you what.
Well, we need to do this regularly so we can keep track of what I'm doing.
I'll tell you what we should do. In a month's time, we shall bring Steve back on and we'll see how he's doing.
Does everyone want that?
We shall see how he's doing.
This isn't going to be like Brexit, where there's a transition period. I'm going to have to just get into it, aren't I?
No, just stop it now. That's it.
That's what I mean. Because the food I've got downstairs, I need to buy more because I didn't expect it.
I don't want your wife to go vegan with you. I want you to get in contact with UK vegan family.
I don't even not met my wife, but trying to tell her to do anything, trying to force her to do it. She's got her own brain.
Lead by example. I'm not saying none of my family are vegan. It's not an easy thing to do, but try. Your goal is to just do you now, Stephen. Walk away from this now and do it for me and for everybody who's throwing out the support there now for you. And let's see what happens in a month's time. Let's see how you feel.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Yeah, I'm just reading stuff now.
I've in the comments. So what I'm going to say is, mate, try and watch Dominion. Did you watch the Game Changers?
I don't remember it. No, I don't remember.
It's about sportsmen. It's about sportsmen in the sports industry. It's a plant-based film, but it's amazing. In fact, it would be such good viewing tonight for you to watch that because I know
I'm up till midnight anyway. So I'll instead of watching other things, I'll do that.
It is on. Hang on, let me see if I can get it for you. It is on Snide on YouTube. There we go.
To the comments, someone said cowspiracy. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you need to see the ethical ones, but as a bit of a relief from what we're showing you, have a look at that. Yeah, the Game Changers full movie documentary, 2009.
Right.
Okay, so have a look at that because that will blow your mind on the food side of it. And then watch Dominion. Watch Land of Hope and Glory, Cowspiracy, all those. They're very hard watching, but if you watch those, you will get it. You will get it even more than you've got it now.
Yeah, well, that's the struggle I have. Isn't with the ethical side to it. My side is making that leap and sticking to it because I know. I struggle.
This is what I'm trying to say to you is that if you let me just share screen. If you watch this, that's a pig being masturbated, by the way. But if you watch Dominion 2018 full documentary, official, right? No matter how hungry you are, how weak you feel, you will not go back to eating meat, dairy or eggs after watching that because it explains every part of the industry and the abuse that goes on. I haven't watched it all the way through yet. I've failed every time I've tried watching it, but please try and watch it. The truth is important to see. It's definitely important to see.
Make sure you send me these links because there's another $5 come through for you, by the way.
Hey, what? Helen Harley. Oh yes, thank you, Helen. Thank you so much. That's appreciated. I have got no excuse not to get him an Impossible Burger now.
I do love a good burger. That's the other thing, you see. So if
I know it's a controversial idea, but Stephen could try reading something like Defending Animal Rights by Tom Regan, the originator of a abolitionist animal rights theory. So if you're into your deep reading, mate,
I am definitely. I've been reading a lot about my own psychology and what was I reading the other day? I do a lot of spiritual reading as well. And that's when it started the ball rolling on veganism, because I believe everything on the planet is connected in some way, and we're all a part of the same pot. So,
well, I won't dismiss it. I don't dismiss anything until I've been proved otherwise. That's the Peaky Blinders say go vegan. That was a terrible.
What's all that about?
Go vegan. Go vegan.
I'm not going to do it. What's that?
Oh, Gary Roski's speech as well. Don't forget Gary's speech. I will send you links to all these, mate.
You're going to have to send me links because it will go.
Hopefully, the tips will help with his confidence in making the leap.
This is the thing. It's about confidence. I don't have any faith in myself, and I worry about if I can do it or not. And I know you're supporting me all. I know I've got a big group of people surrounding me now. So that should push me forward.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Right, I'm going to call it there. Thank you again, Stephen, for joining me and for being brave enough to face the wrath of a big vegan community and hearing the truth. It was very brave of you to come on and talk with me. Stephen, well done in respect.
Thank you.
Will Tuttle's book, World Peace Diet, will be up your street. Beyond Burgers are amazing. Gary is a must say. So, yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for joining me, people. This was a productive conversation. We have got one more to the ranks. Let's do this. Let's do this again.
My mum would be very happy. Actually, a shout out to my mum.
Shout out to Stephen. What's called, by the way?
Carol Holloran.
Carol, why didn't you do it sooner to the poor lad? Why did you keep it to yourself?
Well, she, you know what? She's been trying. She's been telling me for ages about animal cruelty. She had a right go at me the other day. But because again, times change, don't they? And my sister Laura is the same. She's very very vegan. So they'll be very happy tonight.
Brilliant, nice one, mate. Right, thank you all. I'll see you all soon.